Thanks for clicking on the video. If you wanted to check out my previous video, which is just some gameplay of Devil May Cry 5, click on the annotation above. So in today's video, what we're going to be looking at is I'm going to be ranting about the new vaping laws that they're trying to bring into New Zealand at the moment. And let me just give you a little bit of an insight to start with. It is, what's the right word? It's stupid. So just to fill you guys in on what really is happening in regards to this bill they're trying to pass and the laws, it turns out that what they're trying to do at the moment is they're trying to ban and get rid of all flavoured liquids for the vaporizers, or the vapes as they're most commonly called. So in doing that, they're just going to get rid of all of those and just have the tobacco flavours available. Now, speaking from some personal experience, I myself use a vaporizer. I normally vape my sweet flavours rather than you going for anything that's savoury or even on the tobacco side. And I can tell you from my own personal experience that vaping the tobacco flavours is not a good time. It's not a great flavour. I mean, in this case, and the way that I'm seeing it as to what they'll be pushing forwards if they're going to bring it out and say that we're going to get rid of all the different flavours except for the tobacco, is it's just going to be driving home the fact that it would be better just to continue smoking than it would be to continue vaping, as a cigarette tastes a whole lot better than tobacco flavoured liquid. In case anyone's curious as well, by the way, I'll link in the description for what types I use and what kind of liquids I use and where I get them from. My current mod that I'm using right now is the Snowwolf X. I'm using a Vapresso tank, as well as vaping blue gummy bear as the liquid. But again, link in the descriptions, or links in the description if you wanted to check that out and see if that's something that you might want to take up if you are an avid vapor. Back to the point at hand, however, so they're trying to pass this bill which is going to be banning off and basically just replacing all the liquids with the tobacco flavours. So this bill is being put through to, apparently according to what we've read from the information, which I'll put the link in the description for that as well, is trying to stop children and younger people, such as the ages of 13 to 15, starting on the vaping, and rather than going from cigarettes to vape, they just want to say, let's stop all that right now, and we'll just make it as a tobacco flavour so children and kids don't jump on that, I suppose, vape wagon straight away, which I find sort of hilarious, because in New Zealand the way that the parliament is set up and that it works is that the parliament itself works in relation to and works alongside with the district health board. Now, funnily enough, if you check the district health board's website on the vaping and what risks it has and the statistics we have on that so far, they actually say the complete opposite as to what the parliament is trying to push forwards in this bill, that a lot of 13 to 15 year olds are just taking up vaping, and lots of the kids and that are just jumping on and deciding to start vaping because it tastes nice. But the District Health Board website actually shows that there has been a significant decrease in smoking in total, down because vaping has been released, and it's something that a lot of people do when they're trying to get off that smoking now. And it also notes down that a small percentage of people who actually do vape don't actually jump straight onto that. In fact, it says just like around 2%. That actually shows that 2% of people just jump straight onto the vaping rather than going from smoking to vaping, which at a small percentage as 2% out of the population that we have in New Zealand here is basically a statistic that isn't even worth mentioning. Now, the reason why they're bringing out this bill to try and stop this liquids and the tastier liquids rather than the tobacco that'll be sold is actually due to over in America there have been some, not to make light of the situation at all, but there have been some recent deaths apparently due to vaping and the liquids that it holds and the issues that come with actually vaping on an e-cigarette or a vaporizer. Now, these deaths aren't 100% only due to the vaporizers and the liquid that they are vaping. This is actually a case of throwing it under the bus as the nearest and closest thing that they could find to say, let's ban this thing. Now, again, I'm not trying to make light of the deaths that have happened in America. I do feel for the families and anyone that has been affected by this, and those people who have unfortunately passed on. Now, just to bring it back a little bit more into a lighter side of it, the reason why the New Zealand government and parliament has decided to pick this up is because America is recently putting in a ban and trying to get rid of all of those flavours as well. So New Zealand has taken it upon themselves to say, hey, we'll do what they're doing at the moment, and we'll try and be one of the secondary leaders of the, I'm gonna coin the phrase Vapocalypse. So they're trying to bring in the Vapocalypse to neutralise and nullify all other flavours other than the tobacco, so that they can be one of the starting countries to actually push this agenda forward and create a quote-unquote better world for all of us. Now, the real issue I have surrounding this isn't so much that I personally will be affected because I'll lose all my flavours. It's more so about pushing the correct message across than that. New Zealand, and also America and other countries included, should be getting their facts correct and pushing that agenda forward rather than finding something that they believe is bad and then deciding to boycott it and vilify it straight from the beginning. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because vaping itself has actually shown an improvement over the years that it's been available and purchasable by people who are 18 and above. It's actually shown a decrease in the number of smokers in total that we've had. In the last couple of years, there's actually been a decrease from ages from 13 up to 20. There was actually a percentage of showing just that regime there. There was about 14% of people in that age group who were smokers. And then as soon as the vaping was brought out and it was rolled out to be shown as safe, and some people started jumping on it, in those next couple of years, the actual percentage of that dropped down to 11%. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot. That's only around about 2% as a drop, and we've still got to look at that in a grand scheme of that. It's going from a 13% down to that 11%, and that is progress. And I mean, think of what we can get in the next couple of years if we do keep going on the trend that we're going on, and we keep these new flavours coming out. And a big bonus to like your vaping isn't just so much, oh, it tastes nice. It also comes into effect of that it's something sort of to do with your hands, and the flavour's just an extra bonus that's there. You still have that opportunity to inject some nicotine into it, so you can still have that slight rush and that slight heat spin if you're going a little bit higher, but in total it's actually been proven and shown to be 90% risk-free compared to smoking. So that statistic as it is there should show, just as a blatant example, that the vaping isn't that bad. It's not something that is going to just kill people left and right, the same as what smoking has been shown to do in relation to causing cancer and other such illnesses, which we have mountains and mountains of evidence to show that is an issue and that has been going on, and we have kept pushing that agenda. And especially in New Zealand, there's been the smoking tax that just increases every year how much cigarettes actually cost, trying to force people into purchasing and smoking less and less and less. And while that has been working, we do still have to look at the fact that vaping and the vaporizers and e-cigarettes and e-smokes have actually been contributing to that as well, as it's another option that you can go down rather than just having to try and quit cold turkey, which some people can do, but it's not always a great idea to just try and cut something out of your system straight away. I guess a good example of that is such as like the alcohol as well. You don't just go from being an alcoholic and then just cut alcohol out straight away and that's it. you have to actually wean yourself down, and you get yourself to a point where you can actually last and survive with the small amount, and then you can drop it completely, and then we're good as gold. Everything's fine. So that would be the same situation. That is the same situation as smoking for a lot of people, as they can't go straight to cold turkey, especially because a lot of people use smoking as a coping mechanism for de-stressing and relaxing, and just a lot of people that smoke as well just use it as a socializing tool, as well as just something to do with their hands. It becomes a habit in regards to the cigarettes and smoking with the nicotine that comes with it, as well as just a habit to have something in your hand and be doing something with your hands. It's productive. You find it productive. And again, as a personal anecdote from that, I used to be a smoker as well. I used to smoke around 2 packs a day, which is ludicrous when I say that aloud now, and it was so much, and it cost me so much money. And after switching over to the vaporizer and the vapes now, it costs me a whole lot less. I feel a whole lot better, and it's just all round made my life a lot easier to deal with, and just a lot easier in regards to breathing too, because there's nothing better than not having your lungs full of tar. A good reference I used to tell people who, and I still tell some people today who still smoke at the moment, is, as I'm sure a lot of the viewers who are watching this were aware, or are aware, that New Zealand, and especially Christchurch, had a devastating earthquake a few years ago now. And Christchurch is still currently trying to repair some of the roads and the damage that has been done by that. And a good way to try and convince your friends to stop smoking is just tell them that they might be to help out Christchurch if they can take some of that tar that's from their lungs and help pave some of those roads. But hey, that's just my own opinion as well as my rant. And if you did enjoy the rant and enjoyed the stuff that I talk about, or just want to hear more later on when I start coming up with more videos, then please hit that like button, subscribe, and check out all the links in the description that I've got on in this video here if you want to learn and read up and understand a bit more about vaping and the laws that were going on around over in New Zealand. I'd also like to add and note that I don't approve of anyone who is under the age of 18 smoking or vaping, nor do I approve or condone anyone to go straight on to vaping if they haven't smoked before, and if they're not looking to try and quit smoking. I do advocate that it is a great way to stop smoking if you do want to try that and just see if it's something for you. A lot of people do like it, and a lot of people it helps out for them, and they slowly wean themselves off, and then they're clean from the habit and the tobacco and nicotine included. So if you do want to take a look at that, again, everything will be in the description as a link down below if you want to take a look at that. And if you want to take a look at my other my previous videos, then they'll be at the end of the video. Otherwise, go to my channel, subscribe, and take a look at those, and you'll be able to see any of the newer things that are coming out that I'll be bringing out with more rants in the future. And don't forget to smash that bell so you can get them first. I am the NZ Rant Variety Hour. Thank you for watching, and you all have a beautiful day.